It does have two 12-volt batteries on the front of the unit, two 30-pound propane cylinders that are full except for what we use to service the trailer. On your gas regulator, the arrow's pointed towards this one over here. We're going to open it up, turns green inside the eye. As soon as this bottle would happen to come empty, it's going to turn red inside the eye, indicating that the bottle the regulator's pointed to is empty. If you have the other cylinder open over here on this side, it'll automatically pick up from that so you don't lose your service in the middle of the night. Still going to show you red inside the eye, that the bottle it's pointed to is empty, but it'll automatically pick up from that side over there. Then all you have to do is flip it over to that side, work off of it while you take this one off and take it down and have it refilled. There is a light for hooking up at nighttime, your up and down stroke for running the jack up or down, and a manual way that you can come through the top and manually crank that jack up or down. For any reason it won't work on its own, it does have a manual way to do it. It does have a 7-way holder to keep your 7-way up off the ground so it doesn't get corroded. It's got part of your hitch package on the front already. On your gas bottle cover, it does have the two tabs underneath with a bungee cord that goes underneath the metal rack that holds it in place while you're traveling down the road. Also has a quick release at the top so that you don't have to take the cover off every time you get to the cylinders. We're going to slide it back over the top of those. The first connection on the side of the trailer turns your LED lights on the cap. On your electric jacks, the switches are on the door side of it. We're going in the front compartment. You do also have your rest of your hitch package, the head, the bars. We're going to slide back below that. The first connection for your termination valve is for your kitchen sink water only. It is a 3-inch valve. Lug nuts on the trailer has been torqued at 100 foot-pounds. That's what's recommended on the side. And the tires are after pressure, which is 65 pounds on the side of the tire. Your second termination valve in the back. The 3-inch valve in the back is the toilet water. The gray valve in front is your bathroom sink and shower water. Pretty good sized compartment underneath the bed in the back. Does have a 50-amp power cord, 30 foot long. It is prepped for a backup camera up top. And both of the slide rooms already have the slide toppers on top of them. Does have a ladder for going up and checking the roof. I check the roof every 90 days. The quicker you can find a problem with the roof and fix it, the better off you are. It does have a light on the back for hooking up your water hoses at night. It has a part cable hookup and a satellite hookup on the right hand side. Your top connection is your black tank flush. While you're dumping your black tank, you can hook a water hose and regulator to that, and it helps turn water pressure onto it, aerates and cleans the inside of the black tank only. Your city water connects on the left hand side that you can hook a water hose and regulator to and never have to worry about filling the tank on it. The connection on the right side is for winterizing purposes. You hook a garden hose to this end over here, stick it down in your antifreeze jug, suck the antifreeze right through the screen filter and pump on the unit through all the water lines. It does have a fresh tank fill on the door side. Fills up at the top. Does have an air hose at the top, lets the air out of the tank while you're filling it. Does have an outside shower. It's got hot and cold running water to it. The switch here for running your jacks down. Sometimes one of the jacks will come down at one time, and then when it hits the ground, the other one comes down till it hits the ground, and they lift evenly. Right in front of the jacks in the back, there is a 2-inch white valve that is your freshwater tank drain. And if that tank's full of water and you pull that valve, it does have quite a bit of water coming out of it. You'll want to jump back. Also has a hole on this side over here in the bottom piece of radius metal for a manual crank on the bedroom slide. For any reason the bedroom slide won't go in or out on its own, it does have a manual crank handle that goes in there, and we'll crank that room on the opposite side in or out. Have a back door to your bathroom, a 110 outlet on this side over here, and a park cable hookup right down below it, so that you can put a TV out here underneath the canopy and watch the ball game. There is a little table in the front compartment that slides onto this rack here. A second hole underneath that will manually crank your living room slide in or out. For any reason it won't work off the switch, there is a manual override that you can crank it in and out. You can also bring your TV from the inside to the outside, hooks into the fitting on the outside of the trailer, hooks to the 110 outlet and your park cable, and you'll still have the park cable hookup or antenna on top. We do have 2 outside speakers. I'll have to show you more about them when we get to the stereo to the inside. It does have a amper porch light. Backside of the refrigerator. Refrigerator works 3 ways: 12 volt, 110, and propane. Actually on 12 volt it doesn't cool down, it just switches over. For any reason it loses the 110 power coming to it, it automatically kicks it over and lights it on gas. That way you don't lose your food service on the inside. Another bracket on the side to slide on the bracket that holds the outside griddle up. Griddle hooks down below. It is a quick disconnect just like an air hose fitting is. Outside of the furnace is next. It's going to suck cold air in the top, hot air out the bottom. I always suggest putting a mud dauber screen over the outside of the furnace for the simple fact that mud dauber screen is less than 15 bucks for the screen. It's $145 an hour for every hour that I have to take the furnace out and clean the mud daubers out of it. Your next connection up is the outside of the hot water heater. Hot water heater works 2 ways, 110 and propane. The 110 switch is in the lower left-hand corner on the outside. The gas switch is going to be on the monitor panel on the inside. You'll want to make sure that you have water coming out of the pop-off valve before you turn on electric or gas. But it also has a drain plug down at the bottom. It is an 1 1/6" socket, takes it in and out, but it is also an anode rod. An anode rod draws all the impurities out of the water to it, eats up the rod instead of eating up the inside of the tank. We're going to come back to the front compartment. On the front compartment, you do have the table that goes on one connection. You have your griddle table that hooks to the next connection, and then your outside griddle's here. And it does have a quick disconnect line that hooks to the propane line underneath and works off the 2 propane cylinders on the front of the unit. There's 2 more handles inside. The very top one is for the electric jacks on the front. The very bottom one is for your 2 balance jacks on the front and back, and your slide rooms front and back. Front switch runs the balancing jacks up or down, and right down below it there is a solar port that you can hook a solar panel to that will recharge the 2 batteries on the front of the unit. We're going to go back to the living room door. We're going to open it up all the way. We're going to grab a hold of the bottom of the steps and let them come out. It is strut assisted, so it's not real hard. But as it comes down, there is a pin on either side that you can adjust the legs for the proper fit of the steps. The main thing is once the steps come out and go down in place, it has to lay flat in the threshold so that the front door closes over the top of it properly. To achieve that, you pull a pin on each one of the legs and adjust accordingly. The main thing is it has to lay flat in the threshold. As we come in, we do have a working fire extinguisher on the right-hand side. I should have looked to make sure Cindy wasn't out there for her running. We're going to come back up to the top of the monitor panel. We're going to check the life voltage in the battery. It shows you fully charged. To get an accurate reading on that, you need to have the 110 line unplugged and then push the button for the battery. Freshwater tank shows you that it's empty. It shows 1/3, 2/3 full. Black tank, which is your toilet water, does the same way. It'll fill up 1/3, 2/3 full. Gray tank will be your bathroom sink and shower water, and gray tank 2 is going to be your kitchen sink water only. And as they all fill up, they show 1/3, 2/3 full. Up here at the top, the first blue switch turns the hot water heater on electric. Second blue switch turns the hot water heater on gas. When you turn it on gas, the little door side fault light comes on. It's going to stay on for just about a minute's time. Once it goes off, the hot water heater will go through 3 lighting processes to light on gas. For any reason it does not light on gas, that little red light's going to come back on. First blue switch down right below that turns the water pump on between the freshwater tank and the faucets. The second little blue button is for tank heaters that are up underneath the trailer, underneath each one of the holding tanks, that keeps them from freezing in the wintertime. Slide out switches. The first one runs your living room slide in and out. The second one runs your bedroom slide in and out. We'll go ahead and run that slide out. When the slide room goes all the way out, it will ratchet. When it starts ratcheting, let off the button. Then you have your awning switch to extend your awning in and out. Top part of it extends it out. Bottom part of it retracts it. We're too close to the trailer in front of us to run the awning out. But once it gets out, your bottom arm has a pinch point on it that you can pull down on. That would put the pitch of the rain coming off that corner of the awning. Your switches down below that. The first one is your interior, which is your 4 lights in the center of the living and kitchen area. Then you have a porch light, which is your amber light above the door on the front. Awning lights, that's underneath the awning. Step lights is off to the left side of the steps. And then you have a Wi-Fi switch that turns the Wi-Fi on. So we're going to turn them all back off, everything except for the inside interior lights. We're going to come down to the thermostat that controls both air conditioners and your heat. Top button says system, tells you what they are. Second one tells you the zones 1 and 2. Then your mode down below tells you if you're going to run it on AC or heat. High and low on your fan. You always want to run each one of the air conditioners in the auto position. Then you'll dial your temperature down for the ACs, and you'll dial your temperature up for the heat when you go over to the heat side of it. The heat ducts are the brown vents on the side of the cabinets and the brown vents in the floor. The air conditioner comes through the white circle vents in the ceiling. We're going to go over to the refrigerator. We're going to turn it on. When you first turn it on, it goes to the auto side of it, which is the 110 side. If you wanted it off of electric over to gas, all you have to do is push the gas button and let it pop out. Automatically, the auto light goes off. Then the refrigerator goes through 3 lighting processes to light on gas. For any reason it does not light on gas, the little check light on the right-hand side will come on. Pretty good sized refrigerator or freezer up in top. Does have ice in it already. The bottom part of it has a thermostat on the far right-hand side to adjust the controls for it. The farther up it goes, the colder the icebox will get. The farther down it goes, the warmer it will get. And it is lit up on the bottom, indicating that it's working. So it did light on gas, so we're going to take it right back off the gas. We're going to push it back to the auto side, which goes back to the 110. Right down below the refrigerator is your breaker box. Your breaker boxes are marked from the left to the right, exactly what each one of the breakers do, with your 50 amp main being in the center. Your 12 volt car fuses on the right hand side from the top to the bottom, with leaving 5 spots at the bottom are open, and it also has a red light on the right hand side. Anytime one of the fuses is blown, it'll have that little red light right beside the fuse come on, but you can also see through the tinted window on the cover in the front. We're going to go back up to the microwave. The only thing I can tell you about the microwave is you hit the clock button. Let's say it's 2:30. Hit the clock button again to the 2 center eyes is flashing. The only reason I set the time on the microwave is I can tell if the trailer's lost 110 power to it if I come back and it doesn't have the proper time. We do have a light for the stove vent and a fan. For the fan to work properly, the 2 tabs on the outside have to be lifted up, allows the flapper to flap. Glass stove top gets moved up 2 times up out of the way. We're going to turn the burner to where it says light, using the igniter on the left hand side to light all 3 burners up on top. We're going to turn them back off. Before you lay the glass stovetop back down, you'll want to feel the burners to make sure they're cold to the touch of the hand before you put the glass stovetop back over the top of it. Here again, you're going to use the igniter to light the oven down below. Let it run for about a minute, then you can crank it up to the temperature that you want. We're going to turn that right back off. Does not have a light inside of it. Underneath the sink in the kitchen area is the back side of the hot water heater. There is 2 white valves on the back of the hot water heater. Both white valves are pointed towards the tank, which allows cold water to go in the bottom and hot water to come out the top. When you get ready to winterize, you'll turn those 2 white valves sideways to where it makes a loop at the back of the hot water heater without having to fill the hot water heater with antifreeze. Around the sink area, it does have a light that has to be turned on by hand. You do have a 110 outlet on either side of the front of the trailer and a USB port on the left hand side. The left hand 110 outlet is also a GFI breaker excuse me, that controls half the outlets in the trailer. All the paperwork I found in the trailer is in the brown bag right here. We do have 2 sets of keys. One purple key does the front door lock and deadbolt. The other purple key does the back door lock and deadbolt. You have a 751 key for your outside shower, and your 3 outside slam locks use a south stow key. The light above the table has to be turned on by hand. Has a little push button in the center of it in the front that lights it up. Since this is a bedded area, the table folds down, goes between the 2 benches. The 2 back cushions come over the top of the table to make a smaller bed there. And since it is a bedded area, it does have a fire escape window in behind it that you can open up, slide through the vent, slides all the way through the frame so that you can access out this side of the trailer. Pull the little red handle on the screen, pull the little red handle on the window, slide it through the frame, and exit out the side. The other ones are what I call jealousy windows. They just roll out so far, just enough to let air breeze blow in. Pull the shades down. The shades are 2 different kinds. You got the what I call day and night shades. The day shades that you can actually see out of, and then you have your outside nighttime shades that you can't see out of. Couch also butterfly out into a bed. Take the 2 back cushions off, folds up, lays out. The only thing is you can't use the couch for a bed when you have the fireplace going. It does have a light above it that you can turn on by hand. We do have a working smoke detector above us. We're going to sneak back into the bedroom area. You do have a 110 outlet on either side of the bed in the back. You have a light switch on the wall that turns the 4 lights above us on. The one right above the bed has to be turned on by hand. Little push button in the center of it turns it on and off. And then you have true reading lights underneath the cabinet that you push up on the light itself, lights, and you can adjust those to the direction for which way you need for reading. It does have pretty good cabinet space up above the bed for extra pillows and blankets. It does have full storage underneath it that you can live up on the bed. Access from the outside, and you have 2 drawers at the bottom. Quite a bit extra for pillows and blankets, extra clothing, anything that you want to keep hidden in the bedroom. It also has a fire escape window in the back. Pull the red handle on the screen, pulls the screen loose from the window frame. Red handle goes through the window frame, accesses out the back, up over the top of the spare tire. We're going to pull the shades back down back here too. There's still 2-way shades, day and night. Got a pretty good sized closet space, top and bottom. There is another place for a TV here with a 110 outlet to plug it into. You also have your TV hookup and antenna on top, and then you have a satellite hookup in the back. Go ahead and close that door right there. On the bottom cabinet down here, there is where your water pump is, your water screen, and your water filter canister. There is the handle for the canister right down there on the floor right below it. Does not have the canister or filter in it. But you can also access the outside of your shower and your 3 connections, water connections in the very back of the unit through this cabinet area here. But it does have the bypass valve on it for winterizing. And pretty good sized cabinet space right off from it. There is an extra curtain in there. 4 drawers down below. Pretty good sized storage space. It does have the second AC in the master bedroom. You do have the quick cool downs on either end. You have a black filter on either side. The cleaner you keep the filters, the better off you are. When the room back here gets cold enough that you're satisfied with it, you can close the 2 vents off on the side. It will go back to your round vents in the ceiling. Second set of steps going out the back door from the bedroom. We're going to come inside the bathroom. We've got one more light switch on the wall on the left hand side. We have a air conditioner vent bringing air conditioning into the bathroom. We also have the brown vent on the bottom of the shower stall that brings heat into the bathroom area. We also have another GFI outlet for the door side of the trailer. Single foot flush on the toilet on the right hand side. Allows you to press down on it, add water to it, push it, and let water go all the way through. There is directions on the back of the lid for that too. Here again, we're going to open up the shower. You have hot and cold running water. On the hot side of the water system, it does have a valve underneath the shower head that you can turn off, and will let the hot water recirculate, so that when you get ready to rinse off, you just lift the lever back up, rinse off, and it comes back to the same water temperature you shut the hot water off on. It does have a little skylight up in the shower area for the taller guys. Toilet paper is already mounted on the left hand side from the stool. The shower has a plug for it. The sink has a plug for it back here too. It does have a little storage space underneath for extra chemicals, toilet paper, soaps, and a medicine cabinet up at the top with 2 shelves on it, 3 shelves on it. We're going to step in from out of the bathroom here. Oh, one more thing I'll show you. It does have a vent in the ceiling that you can pull down on the black knob, crank the knob up. That opens the lid up on top, and there's 4 settings on the fan. We're going to start out slow, medium, high, and off. We're going to turn it back on medium, and it does have a fan off button so that you can turn the fan off, leaving the vent up in the up position. Just let air out from the inside out, or you can turn the fan on to pull the moisture out. Once you put the vent lid back down, you need to push up against the black knob, which locks it in place for travel. We're going to come around to the remotes. The little remote does the fireplace. It has an on and off button on the red side that turns it on. You can change the color of the flames from 1 to 4. You can run your heat up and down, and it actually has a digital readout that tells you how hot you're going to run it. And I think it goes to 92. And then we'll go back down, and I think it goes down to 32. Then you also have a timer that you can put it on for a half hour, 1 hour. And I think it goes up to 9 hours. And will automatically shut off in case you fall asleep on the couch. You hit the off button on it. You have the middle size remote, does the stereo, turns the stereo on and off. And on your speakers, your number 1 is your inside, 2 is your bedroom, and 3 is your outside. It will also play a DVD between the stereo and the TV. Put your DVD in the stereo. You'll use your little remote to operate the DVD player. Then you have to take the TV and change your input from TV to HDMI 1. We'll put the little remote down. We're going to turn the TV on. And if I'm not mistaken, it got 42 channels on the TV. And that TV station's 80 miles away from here. That's not too bad a picture. But if I'm not mistaken, it got 42 of them. I'm trying to get down to channel 2 just to make sure.
By this and then vacation down here.
The channel 2 radio station is a little over 80 miles away from here. So that's a pretty good picture working off the antenna on top and the power booster.
Spots, makeup and skincare. You can go on there and get actual like personal.
You can go to your input setting. You can take it off the TV down to HDMI 2, and it'll play a DVD between stereo and TV. And we're going to take it back up to the TV setting. Hit the enter button so it stays back on the TV, and we're going to hit the off button on it. But it will play a DVD between the stereo and TV. Fireplace works, stereo works. It'll also play CDs, not only DVDs, but CDs through the stereo. It does have a pretty good sized cabinet space. Right before you go out the main door, you can take the shelves out and use it for coat hangers or coat racks, or put the shelves in it and use it for storing more stuff. That's basically about everything on your trailer. Your air conditioner vents go through the round vents in the ceiling, or the quick cool downs on either one of the ACs, and your heat comes through the brown vents on the floor. And thank you for your time.